I'm revisiting Mendelssohn's Song Without Words, the Opus 19, number 4. I have some new ideas about it. It opens up with broken chords in A major. It's a little introduction, and the introduction is 2 lines, and this beautiful introduction comes back at the end. And it is going through an A major scale pretty much, and it's rolling through broken chords, which the goal here is, and the challenge is to bring out not the common tones that you'll see residing through these passages, but the moving notes, And you might want to just thread through those first. A, B, C sharp, D, I'm using the fingering that I'm going to be using when I fill in. Just to give you an idea of what it is. Now when I fill in the broken chords and actually play through them, there's a lot of common tones that give you an enriched harmony. You want to fold those common tones in and make sure that you're shaping the line that's moving away from the common tones. It's interspersed, so you get this. And go a little quicker. You can see I really went for my moving thirds, and I had some rotations here when I got to, this is a ninth, so I rotate over to it. Ninth, coming down in steps. That really gives you a nice shape to that line. And it allows your thumbs to be folded in so you don't get those clunky thumbs, which always like to avoid. And that choreography really helps. And I continue with it. But here I would go forward. I don't need any more rotations. I'm doing forward wrist rolls there. A little bit rotation. Under thumb. And that's some of the tricks of the trade for that. So I say the hardest part is going into that ninth, rotating over and seeing how I'm doing the rotations. You can see that. That's the forward wrist rolls. A little bit lateral rotation, then forward wrist rolls. Works nice. Tuck your thumb. Here's another place where you want to get a little hill or a little curve around. This arpeggio at the end of the introduction, you want to kind of curve it around on this beat number, let's see, second beat. So you get this. Tuck your thumb, D, forward and so get that little turnaround there that's so beautiful. And these are little things that you kind of experiment with to see to get the sound and the shapes you want. Now when you get to this next part, this is sort of the meat of the matter, where it almost sounds like a hymn-like thing. You have this beautiful melody on top, the soprano. Doing it slowly. Now you have 3 C sharps here, 4 C sharps. Now this is a challenge, because if you have 4 C sharps, you can't just go da, 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 da. It's just not musical. And if you were singing it, you certainly wouldn't sing it that way. So you have to decide with 4 C sharps how you're going to play them physically to get the result, the musical result. They go together, the physical and the musical. And for me, I think of really 1 C sharp going through 4 of them, but some have a little bit more different arm weights behind them, because you have the arm weight coming down your wrist into your fingers. The fingers are the last part of the network, really, and you need to know your fingering. But it says crescendo, so I'm pushing and I'm delaying, because that's a long note. Now that's going to carry me through these. If I were teaching this, I wouldn't say to the student, play that louder, play that softer, play that louder. I would have them sing it how they would want to sing it, as the way they want to shape it. And one of those C sharps at the end, I pulled back the tone, the arm weight, because that's how I felt it. That's coming out of that less, more, full away, answer, but it doesn't say soft yet. Upper voice, bring out the upper voice. Now here's the final response that's soft. If you practice it that slowly, it's really difficult because, it's easy to fall down hard on notes and not give what you want. But it is important to do slow practice. And it may be important also to do one line, like I did initially, to do everything I wanted to do. So I'm pushing. That's going to carry through. Less, more, and lean. This is a suspension. Answer. Now the softest. See if you can do that. You imbue in your ear right from the start with the least amount of complexity what you want to do when you add the voices. And of course I always believe in doing fundamental bass, top voice alone, things like this. Answer softly. Things like that are a very valuable way to practice. And when you put it together, of course this is back tempo again. Crescendo, top voice. Carry me through the answer, but not so soft yet. Now answer the softest. Fold in the G sharp. Now again, you already practiced that. This is a bit of a variation. It's bigger. Now it says diminuendo a little earlier now. Now here comes the final soft answer. Fold in the G sharp. So still back tempo, but in this way you train your ears as to how you want to voice it. And of course, again, I recommend fundamental bass and soprano, and then fill in the beautiful harmonies. Okay, so we ended up with this answer, which is the meltdown of the final softness. Now here, you're going to have a lot of E's that, again, enrich the harmony, common tones. You don't want to thump down on common tones. You want them, in this case, use your wrist to play those E's and let them float through the texture so they don't jump out. You have to practice how to physically do that. So if you come out of this, I'm light. Now it's SF here on the top voice. But I'm done. I'm just showing you how I'm voicing it. I'm done. Start again. Maybe echo. Second time. So these must be light. You can see stroking. Stay close. Because those can really jump out and also get a certain pokey up and down hammer-like effect, which you don't want. So you have to practice sometimes how you're using your thumbs with repeated notes that go on and on and on. And also using the wrist prevents fatigue, I believe. Light, lots of separate hand practice too. So I could go on and spend hours on this, but these are some ways to spot practice and make sure your common tones aren't jumping out, but instead enriching the harmony and folding in with the proper voicing. Now there's another interesting area here where I'm going to show you the phrasing is a bit tricky, where you do this. I'm done. Again, repeated notes next to each other. The first one that I played where he does this, there, you're done. Now new breath to there. And this is tied, so you play the C sharp under it, and then you continue with a legato. Bring out the top voice. And then we're starting with those common tones in the left hand. And what you might want to hear here is the fundamental bass against the soprano, because that's a moving line. And then in the middle, of course, in the tenor, you have the common tones. So you might practice things like this. Echo. So that gives you the frame, the outer frame. It's so important to get that frame, and then inside you have to learn to blend. So you get the romantic kind of voicing that you want. So, and now it says SRF, which is big. Now has staccato. I don't really do a staccato, but I go pedal, 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 pedal. Again, upper voice. Now we have the melody coming back with variation, and it's the climax of the whole thing with offbeats here. So you want to make sure you hear the melody with the accents. With again, one C sharp carries all of them. Except finish. New repeated note goes to that. See, it has a different roll. This is a good thing to practice separate hands, and this is under voice, upper voice, and then we come back with the beginning almost. A little different. I want to get those bubbles. Easy to get bubbles where you go so you have to practice that too. So you can see now in this climax the theme comes back. So remember, when you first heard the theme, you heard it this way, more simply. Back tempo, of course. Suddenly, the climax. The other thing I'm careful about with repeated chords is they don't go bum, 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 bum. But I think of one harmony through repeated chords in this case. One harmony through each chord as it changes. If they're a pair, I think one gives vent or energy to the next. It spills out of the next, if that makes sense. Otherwise, it gets very notey. You get that very notey playing, and the playing loses this horizontal quality that you want. You definitely want to get horizontal on this, especially here. One chord, say, drag your fingers there. Now you have somewhere to go down from. Retardando. You can see it's a very beautiful piece. I'm playing it slowly singling out voices, fundamental bass, top kind of combinations, filling in the middle and knowing it's filling in harmony, making sure your thumbs are very fluid from the wrist on the repeated notes, and common tones, folding them in. These are the big things in this. I hope this was helpful.